enormity of their flat brain, the enormity of their stupidity is just overwhelming. You have to do yourself a favor when you're out in the countryside and you see chicken. Try to look a chicken in the eye with great intensity, and the intensity of stupidity that is looking back at you is just amazing.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network, a fine network, Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, as Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Ayo.
Ayo. And last but not least, over yonder, super producer, making the magic happen, JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Let's try and not be chickens here today.
So dumb.
Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. We love to see it. Like the vid, comment away, subscribe. Get your No Dunks merch over at nodunks.com. We got lots of new t-shirts available. You can get them in hoodie form as well. We had a new No Bunts podcast that just went up. It's available on YouTube and Apple and Spotify. Just search for the Athletic Baseball Show to hear Tass and Joel take stock of what's going on 1 month in to the MLB season. You know, who's hot, who's not, and all that good stuff.
That's how you promo that thing.
There you go.
Skeets, good stuff. Yeah, early season MVP from both leagues. We talked about odd stories. We talked about home run celebrations. We talked about baseball.
All right.
For the first time in a while, we actually talked about baseball.
I'm definitely checking this one out because I have not been keeping up on the baseball standings. So this is the perfect pod for me and probably for you out there as well. So again, search for the Athletic Baseball Show to hear Tass and Joel talk about the American game. Tomorrow night, NBA watch party on Playback. Lakers dubs game 2. We're going to get into game 1 in a second here, but yeah, Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern start time. Not bad for a West Coast game, so join the boys on Playback as we all watch together game 2 between the Lakers and Warriors, and I will make sure to include that link to Playback to this actual stream or this viewing party in the show notes. But let's get into last night's games because we had some more great ones. Anthony Davis, he lifts the Lakers to the victory in game 1. Obviously gives them the 1-0 series lead on the road in a pretty incredible performance from him. The big guy going for 30, 23, 5 assists, and 4 blocks as they held on in the end with that Warriors late rally to get the victory.
This is a series. The bigs versus the littles. Anthony Davis surprised me with the way him and the Lakers guarded the Warriors. He was just planted in the lane. He didn't move at all.
There's enough non-shooters sometimes out there for the Warriors.
Yeah. When it's Kevon Looney is out there, he ain't moving. I just was surprised. He did say at the end, I should have been out more on the shooters when they went small and the non-shooters were out of the lineup. But they were extremely smart in keeping him preserved in this one game where they do have a rest advantage. He said coming in, it was a must-win. And he played like it. The first half, they got out slowly, and the Warriors got out to that lead. But, yeah, he just took it upon himself to score. He feels like he's unstoppable. He is too quick for Kevon Looney when they're going one-on-one. And he was planted in the lane. And it's a telling stat when the Warriors put up 53 threes. And they shot a great percentage from out there, shooting 40%. They shot the exact same percentage in the paint, essentially. Very, very similar percentages in the paint and from the three-point line because Anthony Davis was there. He was a monster in that first half on both ends. I think it's easy to look at his line and say, whoa, that's awesome. But he was just great in the first half. Scoring, he had 23 in the first half and then only 7 after, but he was just 9 of 10 hanging out in the lane. He was like a garden gnome. Like the lawn, the key was his lawn, and you can move him around in that lawn, but not outside it. Like you're not putting him on the pavement. He was just there. And they went on that 14-0 run, the Warriors did, as he said, when they decided to go a little small. And
that's when
they
he
struck
looked
him
the
out.
most gassed, too.
Yeah.
There was a stretch in this game, because he played the entire second half, I believe. Anthony
44
Davis did.
minutes.
And there was a stretch, especially when they went small, where it's like you can watch him. The feet are starting to drag, and you can't really blame him. He is a big guy. It's a lot different for your Currys and your Pooles and your Clays even to run around and go wild. But yeah, these big guys are asking a lot in an up and down game. But then he sort of found just enough left in the tank, I thought, in the final couple minutes to discourage shots or at least change shots at the rim, which he did through the entirety of the game.
They need a new stat. Only 4 blocks for Anthony Davis
Right.
last night. So scares. He
Yeah.
must have had 100 scares last night because there were so many times that the Warriors were getting inside, but then they saw Anthony Davis and either it was a pass out, a pump fake, or a bit of a rush shot. You even saw it with Steph Curry. When is the last time you saw Steph Curry have a 12-foot floater blocked? That was crazy. But a dominant performance for AD. That's what they need every single night. He's got to be the best player on the court if they're going to win. And if you're putting up stats that put you on a list with Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Shaq, that's pretty good. I assume George Mikan is on the list, but they didn't track rebounds back then. But a 30 and 23, that's pretty good. But like you're saying, Skeets, probably the big number is 31-50. Anthony Davis played the last 31 minutes and 50 seconds of this game without subbing out. Obviously, there was a halftime, but the extra days off paid off for AD. He was incredible.
Yeah, and he slowed down a little in the second half scoring. As we said, he started taking a couple threes.
Yep.
He wasn't in the lane as much, but he got third quarter D'Angelo Russell to help him out. That's what he does. I think they know. Just give D'Angelo Russell the ball in the third quarter. Let him cook a little bit. And as much as D'Angelo Russell got cooked at the end of that 14-0 run to tie the game, 1:30 left, he kind of lost Steph a little bit on a reset by Steph. He buried the three. The place is going nuts. It's a 14-0 run. D'Angelo Russell calmed everything down. They couldn't score for minutes. And D'Angelo Russell went right back at Steph and scored inside. So it's great chess stuff here. D'Angelo Russell inserted in the game because they can't score. Steph hunts him down. They score, but D'Angelo Russell scores on the other end. And Russell. I want to call Anthony Davis Bill Russell. I mean, he was awesome out there. He was just so freaking good. And he does have to be their best player, and he was on the floor for everybody. I mean, it was a little flashback to the beginning of the 2020 finals when he was the best player before LeBron got the MVP trophy. He was the best player for those first couple games.
I thought there was a great point from Sean Powell at NBA.com about this game too. Because Looney and Draymond, the Warriors' functional big men, they're so mild offensively, AD and LeBron are like never going to be really in foul trouble. They shouldn't be against those guys because they're not putting pressure on you, like at the rim really scoring. LeBron and AD, they play a combined 84 minutes. They had 2 fouls. I mean, that's going to be a bit of an issue.
And they complained about the one at the end there.
They sure did.
I don't want to foul on me, Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
He knows he has to stay on the floor.
Let's talk about the math, and then we'll talk about Poole's shot, because those are big talking points from this game. The math, though, and you've probably heard it by now or seen it, the Warriors bomb away here in Game 1. They made 21 threes to the Lakers 6. That's a 45-point advantage from beyond the arc. But the Lakers win the paint battle by 30 points. So that leaves, if you're doing the math here, 45, and you got the 30, that leaves the Warriors at plus 15 until you account for the Lakers' 25 made free throws to Golden State's 5. That's plus 20 for the Lakers, and plus 5 overall, and that is the exact margin of victory, 117, 112. You said it, Tass. It's the bigs versus the smalls, and it's sort of fascinating to see, at least in Game 1, how that played out, Trey, where it's just Warriors bombing away from 3, can't score inside, they don't get to the line a whole lot as it is, and then the Lakers is the flip of that, where it's like pressure on the rim, living at the line, that's sort of what they do, but not hitting a ton of threes. It's crazy.
It was weird to see because, those are the free points out there. The three-pointer, that extra point, and the free throws, that extra point. At least a little tip of the cap to the Warriors, not complaining about the free throw disadvantage, basically admitting, this was completely on us. They were timid around AD, so they weren't drawing fouls on him. They weren't drawing fouls on LeBron, and then obviously the Lakers were trying to get the ball inside, and they were doing a really good job with that. So I think in Game 2, the Warriors need to be a little bit less scared of Davis. Try and draw a foul on him. Give him a pump fake. You'll get a call after the way Game 1 went. And number 2, the biggest issue is that Dennis Schroeder took 10 free throws. You can live with Anthony Davis taking 8 free throws. LeBron took 4. Those are small numbers for those guys. But 10 for a guy like Schroeder allowed him to score 19 points and stay on the court. That's the real problem. The Warriors just got to find out a way to do something inside. They have to have some sort of a presence on the interior. And then you heard it so many times from Stan Van Gundy and from Steve Kerr. We got to defend without fouling. They were too reachy on Schroeder last night. 10 free throws is honestly crazy for a guy off the bench.
Yeah, they were definitely in a different zone than the way they were guarding the Kings. They didn't have to guard, number one, the paint, and then also have to fly around. You got to guard everywhere with Anthony Davis the way he was playing. I didn't expect Jared Vanderbilt to be the guy on Steph Curry. I didn't think he could navigate screens at 6'8" that way, but he was great at catching up, even if he got behind a little bit and showing the length. He was their primary guy, and then Dennis Schroeder was the backup sort of guy, and D'Angelo Russell in break in case of emergency. You don't want to do that if you're the Lakers, but Vanderbilt was awesome at slowing Steph down. He
was great.
He was so good. I was so surprised that they were able to handle Steph, but then they decided, like they had to in Kings Game 7, they decided pick and roll up top, so we don't have, forget the running around screens, and we'll figure it out from there. And that's how they stretched out Anthony Davis a little bit, and that's how they made that 14-0 run and tied the game.
Right. Kerr, he does seem to hate running the offense through Curry as like the sole creator, but he will do it when it calls for it. And like you said, Game 7 against the Kings, a perfect example, and he went to it here in this one. It obviously unlocked them a little bit, in addition with Draymond sort of as your 5, so going a little faster. So now I wonder what Kerr does here in maybe a must-win Game 2. I don't know if you want to go that far, but like, will it be more like we saw the Curry in Game 7 versus the Kings, where it's like, just give him the ball and stop worrying about running him around like crazy. We can just get him loose a little bit more. That's going to be a much more difficult guard for a Vanderbilt or a Schroeder or whoever. And then there is that weird, like Looney grabs a ton of rebounds in this one. He was okay. But we see the Warriors with Draymond at the 5. We've seen it for years upon years upon years, how effective it can be. But it's like, can you do it the whole game? Are you going to get destroyed inside even more? Fascinating decision here, I think, from Kerr, both of those decisions.
Yeah, but they already got destroyed inside and gave up a ton of free throws, so you might as well go for the offense forward look. That's always what the Warriors do. When they feel stress, they go small. So I kind of think it'll be Looney coming off the bench, Draymond starting on AD, and then try and get a lot of shots up, because if you're playing small, and if Poole is shooting as well as he did in this game, up until that final shot, he was playing really, really well, and the Warriors were flowing. Their fix is easy. It's always just give Steph the ball more. It's the simplest way to fix something if you're the Warriors. Just give it to the best guy and let him do some stuff. But if you've got Poole on the court and he's playing well, you got other shooters out there with Clay, Curry, Draymond making plays. There's a little bit of responsibility for Wiggins. He's got to be huge on the glass in that scenario, which he was pretty good in the fourth quarter. But if you're playing Poole, that makes it tough to keep Jared Vanderbilt on the court. Makes it tough to put D'Angelo Russell on the court. And I think that's why you saw their defense fall off, the Lakers, a little bit, because Vanderbilt couldn't stay on the court when they needed to go small. So surely the Warriors will realize that, we got to go small. That's what we always got to do.
Let's talk about the Jordan Poole shot at the end. Lakers wisely double Steph in transition. No timeout called by Steve Kerr and the Warriors. They need a 3 to tie here. After this huge run to get back into the game, there was a couple answers from the Lakers, but they're down 3, the Warriors are, and Steph gives up the ball to Draymond. Draymond very quickly swings it to Poole, and Poole sees, that no one's near him. Maybe he doesn't realize how far he's out. Maybe he does. And he lets it rip from, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know what it is in the box score. 28? 29 feet? Right. Something like that. A damn deep shot. And he misses it, and that's sort of the game after the Lakers ice some free throws. What did you think about the Poole shot selection? Because people are going back and forth. I mean, you saw it on Twitter last night. I'm sure they're talking about it on every debate show here. You live with that shot. You hit a bunch of threes. That's Poole. Or, oh, my God, you have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. What are you doing? Kerr, call a timeout. All of, this blowback to that particular shot attempt. Where does Tess Mellis fall on the Jordan Poole pull?
Well, Steph definitely wanted to take that shot, but
he was upset.
But and he didn't want to give the ball up, but he had no choice. They trapped him at basically mid-court. So in
transition, that was heads up defense there. You got to give it to the Lakers there.
Totally agree. Darvin had him going, following the game plan, get it out of his hands. Draymond. I guess, made the right move. I think you probably could have waited a second and given it back to Steph and just tried to see if he could cook. I think there was enough time to try and figure that out. And Jordan was 6 of 10 from 3 at that point. Amazing stat, but give it back. Find a way, at least try. You got to at least try to give it back, I think. Because there's time. I mean, he was wide open, and they're playing 4-on-3, but also, why are you 5 feet behind the line? That's far. Why? Why was he there? Like, what? I don't get the reason.
It was transition. That's where he was. He was just jogging up the court. That's where he was.
Yeah.
But if you're ready to shoot, I mean, there's nobody in front of him. He should have been closer to the 3-point line.
Yeah, I guess he could have taken a dribble in. I think if Draymond does anything, if he dribbles the ball, they're gonna foul him. And then you're either resetting the play or sending Draymond to the line. I don't remember if they were in the bonus, but there's a reason he got rid of the ball. I don't know. You want Steph Curry to take the shot.
Yeah.
But also, we just watched the end of the Bucks season. Couldn't get a shot off. We just watched the end of a Celtics loss against the Philadelphia 76ers where they threw the ball to Tyrese Maxey because nobody wanted to take the shot. Poole, he'll take the shot.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he'll also take the shot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They probably weren't going to get a better look. Steph was on the complete other side of the court. And everybody knows he's the guy who's going to shoot it. Joe Mazzulla probably would have let him get open, but not last night. So I don't know. I kind of think Poole had to take it. Maybe he should have been closer to the hoop, but that's where he caught it and shot it. And he just hit a huge shot right before.
Yeah, well, he had missed the one in the lane. He had missed the one in the lane where he just.
I thought that was a worse shot.
Right.
That was like
shot clock was coming down though.
Yeah, but it wasn't a Poole shot. I mean,
No.
he was trying to hit a left-handed layup from 10 feet, and I thought that one was the more egregious shot. But yeah, you could say it just shows that every series is a new series. Jordan Poole had his best playoff game here in Game 8 of the playoffs after having a real tough series, but he looked awesome. And in the second quarter, I mean, he kept this thing together. He feels great against the Lakers, so I can understand why he took it. No problem with it. I do think if you're ready to shoot, I mean, get to the line.
The other part is the way he let it rip made it feel like there was 1 second left.
Yes.
And there was more time to
Plenty.
even a timeout could have been called and you could have then maybe unlocked a Curry or even a Clay or whatever, something in the corner. But it's Poole. So he was feeling himself in this game and he lets it rip. And after the game, Kerr doing, I guess, the thing you have to do, like, oh yeah, we're going to live with that shot. That's a great shot. He can hit that shot. It's not that far for him, stuff like that. He's not going to say the opposite.
That's what Curry said as well?
Yeah.
That's what Tyrese Halliburton said?
He did, that's right.
Channing Frye said no.
Yeah.
You better pass it back.
Well, here's the issue, right? It's fine. He was open. Maybe it's a little too deep, all that. But no matter what shot Jordan Poole or any other player on the floor takes, everybody else would still prefer Steph Curry with 4 guys draped all over him to take the shot because he's the greatest shooter of all time. And he has stones. That's so that, I mean, he's sort of in a can't win situation unless he bangs that 3 from 28, 29 feet, whatever the hell it was. So, they obviously wish they had it back. Could have called a timeout because they had 2 of them, I believe. But Poole let it go, and the Lakers pull out this victory. And it's interesting to hear that they felt like, in a weird way, it was like a must-win game 1 for them because of that little break in the schedule that they wrapped up their series in 6 and the Warriors had to go 7.
Yeah, with the game's going every second day now. No break in that. They did have a couple extra days, which should benefit the oldies. I mean, that's Anthony Davis's old young legs and LeBron James. And I think LeBron, despite hanging out at the 3-point line a lot of the night and not having a great night shooting the 3, 1 of 8, when the Warriors do go small, and when they did in this one, he licks his lips looking at Andrew Wiggins. He knows he's stronger than him. And so that would be the advantage. I can't wait to see that. If we get more LeBron in the lane, because I think he'll definitely feel comfortable doing that. And you saw him do that, trying to overpower Wiggins at times. But this is a great chess game right here.
I'll tell you, LeBron's pretty happy that Jordan Poole missed that deep 3 because
That was a bad shot.
he had to travel late in the game. LeBron did.
Shout out to Ed Malloy.
He missed a free
That was a
throw
good travel call.
late in this game. He obviously struggled once again from 3. What'd you say? 1 for 8?
1 for 8.
What is he shooting from distance in the playoffs? Like,
He was 5 for 36 coming into this, I think, right?
Yeah, here, I'll do it real quick.
6 for 44.
well, yeah, he's shooting 18% from 3 in the playoffs, and they've won 5 out of 7 games. It's pretty crazy with him struggling that bad. Yeah, his best game was 3 of 8 shooting in the first game against the Grizzlies. And then 1 of 8, 0 for 4, 1 of 7, 1 of 9, 2 of 5, I guess is better than 3 of 8 percentage-wise, and then 1 of 8 last night.
3 blocks, though.
Yep.
LeBron was saving it for defense, and that was very helpful because he was making some great transition plays, I thought. And I don't know. I mean, he seemed to be moving better. I thought in this game it looked like he had some pop with a little bit of time off. But yeah, if it's a small ball game for the Warriors, LeBron versus Wiggins matchup is going to be huge because Wiggins has to be big on the glass. Wiggins has to be more aggressive, looking to score. And honestly, like, he should try and run LeBron into the ground, like going through screens, moving off the ball, that kind of stuff. Make LeBron chase him, gets him out of the lane, and wears LeBron down a little bit. Any
other thoughts on an entertaining game 1 in the Bay there, which felt like a bigger game, I got to be honest, than game 1 of a second round, with all of the star power and these two iconic franchises? It's pretty cool.
It did. Felt like a movie in many ways. I thought just the way the floor looked. It's their third floor, and the color schemes and the camera angles, getting on the floor behind LeBron and doing his powder thing, but also you could see the Warriors at the same time right beside LeBron. Yeah, it did feel big, and I guess they were focused on getting this dub. The Lakers were. You got to assume that the Warriors feel better after game 2. You think the Warriors gonna win a home game, but they've lost their last 2 home games, so that's strange.
Yeah, very, very wild. Well, we'll be watching game 2, like I said, on playback on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Trey, anything else from this one? Random notes or anything?
My only little note here is what a weird D'Angelo Russell game. I feel like he made a lot of really timely shots, but also missed multiple wide open layups. It was kind of like the full Russell experience. But he made the shots that he needed to make, and Poole missed his. And that's kind of what it came down to.
Yeah, 19 points in the end, 6 assists, and the bit like you said, that big shot after Curry had tied it up.
He was good when they needed him.
That was a big one in the post there. It's like he just there was a lot of talk of when Conley went to the Wolves and sort of D'Angelo Russell being replaced and stuff like that, and how that would be so much better. And I get it. It's like Conley's such a steadying guy. But D'Angelo Russell has the ultimate highs and lows, where he has higher highs than a guy like Conley at this point of his career will ever get to. But he has a bunch of boneheaded plays where someone like a steady vet like Conley won't make. So it's like, which one can you live with? Maybe when you got LeBron and AD,
that's what
you can deal with this. Yeah,
you need the explosiveness. Yeah. You need somebody else who can handle the ball and make a play for himself or for others. There was one where he was shaking and baking, hit a crazy step back, and you're like, LeBron is wide open for 3 at the top of the key, but it didn't matter because LeBron couldn't shoot and Russell could. If you're the Lakers, you've got the guys who are smart and can get organized when you need to. That's LeBron. That's Austin Reeves sometimes. That's even Dennis Schroeder a little bit. Whereas if you're the Timberwolves, you want a vet. You got enough crazy guys there, so it ended up playing out perfectly for both these teams.
All right, let's move on to the first game from last night. Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle helped the Knicks beat the Heat 111-105 to even the series. No Jimmy Butler in this game, walking around NYC just trolling us. But the Heat almost pulled it off, even without Jimmy Butler, even, of course, without Tyler Hero. New York staved off an incredible effort there from that Miami team, missing those guys. What were your takeaways from this one in Game 2 in the Madison Square Garden?
That the Knicks were friggin' lucky to pull this one out. That they scored 35 points in that fourth quarter. It seems like no one will ever lead by double digits in this series. It's going to be super close, and I was just surprised to see 3 after 3 go down for this Knicks team that came in shooting poorly from 3 throughout their series against the Cavs, and then in Game 1, and then they started raining down. So it felt weird, and I do say lucky because I'm concerned for them going into Game 3 with their current lineup construction, and even though Josh Hart hit a couple big threes from the corner, they have 2 non-shooters when they start the game with Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson, and I think that really clogs things up for Jalen Brunson. So the Heat got to feel extremely confident, and Hart plays differently at the beginning of games because he's not in the corners, so I think that's what clogs it up. But they were somehow able to withstand that clogging because Julius Randle looked great, even from the first possession. They're starting to play inside out, which they need to do, and this Heat offense is just too good just to start the offense way up top, and RJ Barrett banging home threes. So I think they kind of got a great 3-point shooting night, and we're a little lucky to be split here. I just don't see everybody starting so hot and being able to maintain that. Although they took turns, and Jalen Brunson did a sort of the opposite of AD in game one. He was slow to start this game and decided, all right, I'm turning this thing on, and he was awesome. He was 6 of 10 from 3. So I'm a little concerned about the starting lineup for the Knicks, but I like how they went 4 shooters to get this thing done, with Quentin Grimes ending the game.
What do you think, TK? I know you had a tweet about Scott Foster playing a part as well. The extender, making sure this one's going 5.
Yeah, this was a clutch game from Scotty here. Down 6, the Knicks are with 6:42 left. That was the corner 3, with Brunson getting the call for a 3-pointer. I think it's Bam runs through a screen from Hartenstein on the baseline. Close call.
Oh, very close.
Very close call. Honestly, the shot went in. The points are on the board. I feel like they probably got this one right. It was like, did Bam make contact and instantly that's when the foul should have been called? Or was it when he went overboard and finally got Hartenstein falling over and that was the foul? I don't know.
And then when do you consider Brunson in the shooting motion?
Totally.
It's like, how low does it have to be, or how high, I guess I should say, does it have to be for you to consider that? Yeah.
It was not conclusive, I suppose, when they went to the board to see. So fine by me, but if I'm the Heat, I would obviously be pretty upset about it. And turned out to be a TSN turning point, according to basically everybody in the game. Down 3 minutes left, is the Caleb Martin shot from the right wing. Who knows? It looked like it grazed the front of the rim. Gabe Vincent grabs the near air ball, puts it back in. That one was definitely wrong. They didn't even go back and review that one. So I thought that was a botched job there.
Yeah,
but,
it was. I'll admit in real time on the angle, the game angle we always see, I wasn't sure, but then you saw the overhead and it was pretty blatant that it hit the rim. And they're all going, hit the rim.
Jim
right
Jackson
here.
called it right away.
Yeah.
Yep, you can tell. So that one should have been looked at, but I feel like the 3-1, that's just how they called it on the floor, so that's how it's got to stay on the floor. But
I sort of agree with that one.
that wasn't, neither of those I really thought lost the game for the Heat. But if you're a Miami Heat fan, it probably feels like those completely lost the game for you. But I'm with you, Tass. Randle was awesome in this game. He's an easy guy to overlook just because he has so many ups and downs, even quarter to quarter. But he was big time, especially in the second half of this one. Jalen Brunson said, I'm going to be better in game 2. And he was. He made 6 threes. That was big time. The Heat had a chance. They were making it really close because they made it super ugly. They're going zone all the time. They're basically challenging the Knicks to beat them from 3. And the Knicks beat them from 3. That's what you got to do. So shout out to New York actually showing up. And I actually like the way they used RJ Barrett in this one. He's kind of like a reverse sixth man. He starts the game. Go get buckets, man. He doesn't do anything else. All he does is score baskets. He was hitting threes last night, and then he doesn't close because they need somebody who's going to make smart plays and play defense. They got shooting from Hart. They had Grimes out there. There was more space to let Isaiah Hartenstein go wild on the glass. He was big time in the fourth quarter as well. So I thought pretty well coached game from Thibs. I thought a pretty solid one from the Heat as well. Guys being dudes. This is what they do. And then it ended with Jimmy Butler waving to the crowd. Scary stuff.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I'm almost pumped that it's 1-1. Where the first game the Knicks don't have Randle, second game the Heat don't have Butler. So let's go here. Now it's a best of 5, and hopefully, I know Tyler Hero will not be coming back this series, but for the most part, we're going to be even here, at least with their stars. They're all stars on both sides of the ball. So it's a best of 5, in my opinion, here now, Taz, because hopefully everybody's full strength.
Yeah, the Butler addition is monstrous. You got to assume he'll be pretty damn close to 100%, as close as possible. He's playing Game 3. Oh, yeah. I don't care if he walks home from New York. I mean, he's playing in Game 3. But yeah, you got to be scared if you're the Knicks a little bit. See that guy just giggling on his bench and waving bye to everybody, and in his fits, just looking stylish and ready to go home and take a game. I do think it was a good move by Tibbs to have some spacing on the floor to end this game. Very, very, very important. Randle can have his way with the Heat front line of Kevin Love and then Bam. I think he's got to be big. I think Mitchell Robinson has been absolutely horrendous to start this series. He's got to be way better. I mean, he
he
just
picked
has
up
to-
2 fouls in the first 2.5 minutes. Yeah.
First 3 minutes.
But luckily
and
they have Hartenstein on the bench. He had an incredible game.
He was awesome.
He made plays all over the place.
He was.
Especially in the second half. And I thought Tibbs, committed to him, too. He liked what he was giving him, and Mitchell Robinson was in foul trouble. Went to him, again, late, got Mitchell Robinson back in there. But just back to Randle, too. You said, that first shift, he's coming off this ankle injury. He had 10 points on 4 of 6 shooting, 3 rebounds and 2 assists in his first shift back. There's something so incredibly New York about Julius Randle when he's in MSG too that I love. I know he's flipped his own crowd off before, but when he's going, they rally behind him, and I just love it. And I love the play, fourth quarter, about 1:45 to go. Randle had a smaller guy on him, I forget who it was for the Heat, and he just took his time. He was patient at backing the guy in. He drew the double because the double had to come because he was just going to overpower whoever it was, and he kicked to the corner for the Hart 3, and it was just wow, there's some maturity there, because I do find that the MSG crowd in these playoff games or in these big moment games, as great as they are, they're maybe the best in the NBA, they actually sometimes backfire for Knicks players, because I think they get so hyped that a Randle or a Barrett or whoever will you'll get caught up in the crowd almost, and you'll go for the kill when you probably could get a better shot. It happened a couple times in this game, but that one at the end, I was like, damn, that was a hell of a basketball play. Smart, took his time, didn't panic, and hit Hart in the corner, who knocked that one down.
And R.J. Barrett may have got caught up in it in game 1 in the end of the game. He was forcing it a little much.
I think it happens.
And Tibbs yanked him for game 2. As Trey said, it was Hart and Grimes in the corner, just hanging out, and then Brunson, Randle making it happen with Robinson or a Hartenstein setting picks. So they've got something good going for sure. They've got it. Yeah, they've got the rotation. At least Q Grimes finished the game. That was important just for spacing, because Randle can have his way. He's an important player here.
And again, I don't want to take anything away from the Heat, who had this within striking distance. I mean, they could have won this game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was a shot Lowry. I thought Lowry it was deja vu time, where he scored one inside. He had another great assist, and then he had another one that he had sort of a layup attempt. It was in traffic, but it bounced in and out. But Caleb Martin starting 22 points, 8 boards. That's huge. You said Vincent. This guy is a gamer. Holy crap! He got popped in the face, and then he scored 8 straight points. He had 21. Strus with 17. You had a couple threes. Duncan Robinson. They had an incredible play call there from Spo late to get that Duncan Robinson 3. They're running their play before the ball's even inbounded because Lowry's let it drop. Man, they gotta feel pretty good without Jimmy Butler to nearly go up 2-0, and maybe it would have put this series away. But
absolutely.
Credit to Brunson and really Randle there coming through late.
Gabe, man named Gabe is killing you. Yeah, he's comfortable taking every shot. Mm-hmm. Every shot. Sometimes you think, okay, is he maybe pulling a little too much, or he took 12 threes in this game, but they need it, and he's doing great. And Kyle Lowry, that's some bitch, Kyle Lowry. I literally think he pushed, who was it, Randle? I think it was a Knicks player who was driving in, and he pushed him in the back, and that created the charge call. It's just a great play. Great play. He got a charge because he pushed somebody in the back. He's just doing Kyle Lowry stuff. Without Chris Paul in the playoffs right now with the injury, we need more Kyle Lowry to be doing that Kyle Lowry type stuff.
My only other note from this one, very random, I smiled to myself when Kevin Love was smiling after Hartenstein threw the full court dime. That was Love-like, and we had just had that obviously little short about Kevin Love and his outlet passes in Game 1, and it was Hartenstein throwing a pretty good one in this game. And then they went to Love on the bench, and he seemed to be smiling.
Nice.
Not bad.
Aaron Rodgers in attendance both games.
Back-to-back jacks. Yeah.
Hoops head.
I guess so.
Think he listens? Think he watches?
He used to go to Bucks games. He was at Bucks games quite a bit.
That's a good point. Likes basketball. Does he have game? Do we know? Has there been any footage of him shooting a jumper? I'm sure there is.
I'm willing to bet he scored 20 a game in high school.
He's an athlete?
Yes, he's a professional athlete. I bet he was good.
Anything else from Heat Knicks?
Are you a Hartenstein or a Hartenstein?
Yeah, I guess I go Hartenstein.
Same, yeah.
Yeah. It's probably wrong, isn't it?
That's what Basketball Reference has as well.
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah.
I like that we got the Hart brothers out there. You brought up the zone. I will be interested to see how much zone the Heat continue to play. They played the most out of every team in the regular season. After the first quarter, they went to a lot of it. Shu pointed out, though, the Knicks had their most efficient game of the playoffs here, 111 points on 91 possessions, even though the Heat were in the zone a lot, because I thought they did a pretty good job of sort of finding the seams there and moving the ball quickly, which you have to do against a zone. If you can get it from one side to the other, then you're laughing. You're going to get looks. It opens up offensive rebounding, too, usually when a team's in the zone, and they pulled down some big ones late. But I wonder how much Spo continues to go with it, or do you not have to as much if Jimmy Butler's out there sort of blowing up things defensively? We'll see.
Trust the process. The Knicks are not a good shooting team. They hit 40%. They made 16 of them last night, but they're like probably, I don't know, they're probably now over 30% at least for the playoffs, but not coming into this series, so you still want them to beat you from the outside, I think.
Yeah, but the Knicks might feel the same way about the Heat. like,
oh, yeah, definitely they do. Yeah,
because they hit 17 threes. I mean, they were staying in this game because they were hitting all those threes in the first half. I think they had 10 at the half.
It seemed like, I'm trying to check the Heat map, but it seemed like the Knicks were dedicated to taking the corner threes in this one, that R.J. Barrett was taking and then Josh Hart was taking.
That'll be there in the zone.
Yeah, that'll be there in the zone, and it's definitely the most efficient three. If you remove your above the break threes, and Jalen Brunson started, his first three was from there, so smarter threes, it feels like. And just last note from me, talking about all the celebrities there. I guess James Dolan likes John Starks more than he likes Charles Oakley because John Starks basically ran on the floor one possession.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like, we made a bucket. I'm running on the floor.
He almost bumped the ref.
Yeah,
I think Worldwide Lob had a photo of it. It looks like he's like just standing right beside him on the corner.
John Starks.
Or somebody else had it, yeah.
He's just so pumped. And then him in the Melo moment. That was him in Melo, right?
Jalen Brunson and Melo? They were like hugging after the game. I saw that.
No, I think there was two former Knicks.
Well, yeah, there was a big shot from
and
Brunson. They showed, I think, Starks and Melo.
Yeah, they showed Melo for sure.
But, you're saying somebody went over to Melo, right?
Well, there's like a couple former Knicks. It was
Camby
just
was
like
there,
Knicks nostalgia porn, essentially. It was like, it was Melo and somebody else.
I'm not going to shame you.
Yeah.
What are you into? Old Knicks players. That's what gets me off.
Dave DeBuscher. Honestly, I was a little sad seeing Melo.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess he's officially retired. Like, if he's up there as a New York Knicks legend, if he's hanging with Marcus Camby and Patrick Ewing, those guys are retired. So I guess Melo makes me feel old, to be quite honest. If he is a Knicks legend at this point, I agree he is a legend, but if that's his status, a little sad.
He still looks great. That's
exactly. He looks like he could be playing.
But then you see him by his son, who's like, God, this kid's going to be in the league soon. Yeah, it's like, holy crap, he is old. They had all of them out there. I think Brunson was the first Knicks player to score 30 points in MSG in a playoff game since Melo.
That's right.
Which I guess makes sense. They haven't been in a whole lot of playoff games. But good stuff there from Brunson. He had an awesome game after a really rough start. He turned it on for sure. All right, let's take a break.
Dick McGuire wasn't there, was he? Oh, no, he's passed, unfortunately.
Dicks and bushes. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about Joel Embiid winning MVP and the Grizzlies saying, fuck off to Dillon Brooks.
Bombas socks are taking over my sock drawer. I already had the running socks, which are all I wear when I jog. And since summer is approaching, I needed a refresh. I bought some no-show Bombas socks, which are also a performance sock. I actually didn't know they were a performance sock, even though I do like to perform. I just thought I was getting a no-show sock. But I'm glad they are, because they stay in place and they keep my sweaty feet dry. They are so good. This past weekend, I also saw a friend who was wearing Bombas socks. He's the host of a podcast called Is This Good? Anyway, he was on the grass with his Bombas. He stepped in a wet patch and said, it's wet. And that's when Trey said, I remember my first weather. Why are you wearing socks outside?
It was raining all morning.
He was walking around the grass in socks?
Thought it was dry.
I mean, it happens. And anyways, this host, Matt Austin, later put his foot up on a counter and told me to touch his merino wool Bombas socks. They're dry. Moisture wicking worked its magic, he said. I hesitantly reached my hand and touched the bottom of his sock. Didn't want to, but they were dry. Bombas are soft, breathable, dry quickly, and Bombas gives back to those in need with every purchase. I'll tell you what's happening in my underwear drawer next time.
Hey.
Go to bombas.com/nodunks and use code NODUNKS for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/nodunks and use code NODUNKS at checkout.
All right, still here in the Classic Factory. Please take a second, if you haven't, hit that thumbs up, that like button on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed so you know when we're going live. We really appreciate it. It's official, guys. Sixers center Joel Embiid has finally won the NBA's Most Valuable Player award, claiming that prestigious-looking trophy after finishing second the past 2 seasons. What we thought was going to be a tight race, and was through most of the season, ended in a blowout. Embiid got 73 of the 100 available first-place votes. He had 915 total points. Jokic finished second with 15 first-place votes, 674 total, and then not that far behind him, Giannis getting 12 first-place votes and a total of 606 points. So Embiid won in a runaway, Jokic 2, the Greek Freak 3, and then Tatum and SGA finishing 4th and 5th overall, respectively, but way behind. What'd you think? Did you catch any of the I don't know what you want to call it. Definitely not a ceremony. Zoom meeting that they did on
Conference
TNT.
room hang.
Yeah. Where he's obviously on the road getting ready for Game 2 tonight.
Yeah, they didn't make it a big deal, really. I mean, other than filming it. It was like a memo. Like, hey, we got to let you know about something going on in the workplace. You've been given the award for best employee of the month kind of thing. But
Of the year, really.
Yeah.
And Nora was watching this. She was like,
got
what
croissants.
is going on here? And I'm like, oh, he just won MVP. She's like, this is what they do for MVP? It's like, what? Somebody told him to fix his camera on his laptop. And Bede's head was like, not a great angle.
Too much headspace, huh?
Yeah, it was a little strange.
everything's raw. We're on YouTube, just TikToking. You know, we don't. You don't need to have professional lighting anymore. That's still gonna get 6 million views. Or more, or whatever.
Probably,
I'm
yeah.
just throwing out a
I mean, it
dumb
was
number.
nice. Well, the stuff you saw after they go off the air, where Harden's coming up and hugging them, and all the Sixers are chanting MVP and stuff like that. That was cool. That's a
No,
cool
that was the
moment.
best part.
Yeah,
That was the best
But,
part. He was crying. He was crying throughout it, like head down for
Yeah.
full 60 seconds.
yeah,
Got me.
got ya?
me for sure.
yeah. You're reaching for the Kleenex.
No, but got me. Like I say, got me. Like as in emotionally, I felt it, but not. I'm not balling. There's a
That was
difference.
cool. I mean, I'm talking about Embiid's story for sure, and how he started playing basketball so
amazing,
late
man.
and coming over.
16 years old. Come
That's
on.
it's.
Feels like a fib.
Oh, you don't believe it?
Well, I thought Giannis was the oldest one, but Embiid was older.
Yeah, when he took up the sport for
Yeah.
sure. And then you do. I mean, I forget this guy didn't play for the first couple of years in this league. Like it was the whole trust the process there under Hinkie, and has turned into obviously a perennial MVP candidate, and finally gets his first one here after really 3 years running of playing at that level.
He went from YouTubing white guys shooting 3-pointers to leading the league in scoring in back-to-back seasons, and multiple top 3 MVP finishes, finally winning this one. That's awesome. Good for him. He's also dominant defensively as well, and now we just want to see him back, and it sounds like he's going to be back for Game 2, which is really cool. Craziest thing to me, though, is looking at the votes. One person left Nikola Jokic off the ballot completely.
What's going on there?
Not even a 5th-place vote? Like, okay.
Is that an error?
That's got to be.
Yeah.
An accidental Nikola Jovic vote didn't show up on here? Like, what's going on? You might not have him at number 1, but he should at least be top 5, I would think.
I would think so. Yeah, unless you
It was
really are
an
trying
ugly
to make
last
a
month
point.
of the season. I will say that. It was ugly.
I don't think it was
but
that
ugly.
bad. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I was reading a great recap about his story, and it was on The Athletic. Fine website, theathletic.com/nodunks. And he always says, I learned the game, how to shoot from white shooters, as a joke. But within The Athletic, he said he learned the game, or the writer, Hoffman, said he learned the game from Dirk, Jordan, and Kobe. It still hasn't entered the standard article write-up that he learned it from, J.J. Redick and Steve Novak and guys like that. So it hasn't quite reached that level. I want that to be part of his eventual Wikipedia page.
I love
Like
the
those
part of
guys.
his whole story where, like, because he was tall, he thought he might be a volleyball player. He's obviously an athlete, but wasn't playing basketball. That someone's like, you got to come out to Luc Bahamute's basketball camp there in Africa. And he, like, didn't go the first day because he played video games.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't really want to. And then eventually goes and then turns into an MVP not all that long later. How old is he, 29?
29, yeah.
That's pretty incredible. Guys played basketball for 13 years.
Imagine him as a volleyball player, man.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome, too.
All these old men referencing Joel Embiid instead of Karch Karai. We could dream. Further down the ballot,
Yeah.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah, we thought he might get
A lot of love for making the play-in tournament. Luka Doncic dropped out. Luka was top 5 MVP candidate through March.
probably.
They gave up at the end. Cost him a 5th place finish. Jeez.
Yeah, how will he recover? Not being top 5. Yeah, it was nice to see. Most of us thought, Tatum would be 4 pretty handedly, and then a lot of votes for SGA in 5th there. Because it's like, it's the end of the ballot. It does not matter really at all. Especially in one we thought might be closer, too. This is the weird part. I mean, we thought this thing was going to be... Like, even they played it up on TNT. They're like, okay, Shaq, Charles, you're going to announce the name, and then I, Ernie Johnson, will tell you how close it is. So, of course, okay, it's Embiid. Oh, wow. And then they open it up, and they're like, oh, it's not that close. They're like, oh, okay. I will say I want to give some props to the MVP Michael Jordan trophy.
Good
Looks
one.
pretty awesome.
You like it better?
Well, the other ones suck ass,
Yes,
as
they're
we've
bad.
gone over. There's a gold G.I. Joe in a glass vase for all of them that you can't even see. This MJ one, it looks pretty sick.
It's cool.
It does
It
look
is
cool.
cool.
It just looks great. And I missed the old one already. But hey, moving forward, these guys holding this up. Joel Embiid before Game 3 in front of his Philadelphia fans when they hand it to him, Tass, and he holds it high in the air. You don't think that's going to happen? I still do.
Well, no, the calculus changed for me. I thought Boston would be running with this series, running away with it. That was...
Oh, okay. So you think that
Yeah.
winning Game 1?
Oh, that played a factor. Yeah, Boston owns their ass, and not anymore, I guess. So I think that changed it. I think Joel Embiid will make a joke in front of the Philadelphia fans about the
Process.
trophy looking naked. I think he'll make
It does
some
sound like something he would do.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And you did slip it in there. I don't want to gloss over it. He's playing tonight. I guess Sham says after, they go off the air on TNT when he wins the award, he turned around and said, I'm back.
I'm back.
There you go. So
It's pretty amazing.
He should be playing tonight.
On track to return, barring setbacks.
Okay.
Don't drop the trophy on your foot.
No. It looks it's 23.6 pounds, isn't it?
Great call. Exactly
Not
right.
that light, yeah.
Precisely right.
All right, let's get to this other piece of news here from Shams at The Athletic. The Memphis Grizzlies have informed pending unrestricted free agent Dillon Brooks that he will not be brought back under any circumstances. That was Shams' tweet, under any circumstances. Now, Brooks had a disappointing series, no doubt. He shot 31.2% from the floor in that first-round series, and he created all these distractions, calling LeBron old, declaring he pokes bears, and then just sort of shit in the bed here as they lose that first-round series. But what did you think about this tweet from Shams? The under any circumstances, and we are done with you. Get out of here, man.
I don't think I've ever heard that. A team being that vocal, that clear, that concise. You ain't coming back. And they're making it known to the rest of the organization, to the rest of the league, that this is a serious organization and next year is going to be different. And Taylor Jenkins said as much. We have to be more professional. And, John Morant has said as much. So Dillon Brooks played himself, unfortunately. He's 27 years old, and he could have been signed pretty cheaply, I think, as a guy to go with Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., and that would have been great for them as well. I think it could have been a great situation. He's not old, and he fits, and he could have been cheap, but yeah, I think they're making it clear that they ain't effing around anymore, and this is a serious organization.
After this season, it felt like something needed to change, and the two guys who are most emblematic of the Grizzlies' general way of going about things are Ja Morant and Dillon Brooks. And John Moran ain't going anywhere. So I think that you look at what's happened with Dillon Brooks. If it was just his antics on and off the court and he played well, that would be fine. If he played well and didn't have the antics on it, or if he was just a defender and didn't shoot the ball incredibly well, probably fine if he's not doing the stuff off the court as well. But the fact that it's both of them and the fact that the season ended pretty meekly for the Grizzlies, something had to change. It does feel a little extra harsh, though, to like come out and say we are absolutely getting rid of this guy. It's 100% him that was the problem is kind of how it reads to me. So, I don't know. The guy was a massive part of their team for a couple of seasons here. And they do need to change, I think. But it just feels a little icky the way they're going about it.
According to Tim McMahon, Brooks repeatedly mentioned his reduced role this season during his exit interview, which he eventually did with the Memphis media. He said, quote, "I don't think I lost anything on the offensive end. I was just there to 3-and-D, shoot and play defense. I got way more to my game than that." There's also reports that he maybe wants a contract like in the $25 million range, which seems like insane to me. So maybe this, is a part of the equation here, though I agree with Trey. The part where it's just like, get the hell out of here, man. It was very Logan Roy F off. A little odd. I mean, the guy had a bad series, had a bad year, and he did a bunch of boneheaded things, but he wasn't the only one in your organization doing that. So to bury the dude like this, a little perplexing to me. You could have just obviously let him go and move off of him, and nothing really changes outside that. Will it be any blowback from other players, how they think about the organization? Probably not. But I wonder what impact this has on Brooks trying to sign another team. Is he going to have to rehabilitate his sort of NBA career here? Like take a 1-year deal, pretty cheap? I mean, we've seen guys do it. Schroeder somewhat recently, to sort of I don't worry, I'll leave all the bullshit aside and I can contribute to a team. Is this what he's going to have to do? Or do you think someone's going to be like, no, we can deal with this guy in our system at least? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it'll be a 1-year deal, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I do think he, after reading his exit interviews, that he wanted a huge chunk of change. So that was a part of it. He didn't necessarily have to say under any circumstances he ain't coming back. But at that number,
right.
Why would he come back? It doesn't really make sense. He struggled shooting the ball. So, there's somebody who's going to take a chance. I don't know how much they're going to pay Dillon Brooks.
Yeah, he wants 25.
That's
what you're saying.
That's what the reports are.
Looking now, it's like $25 million gets you Jalen Brunson, DeMar DeRozan, Al Horford, Draymond Green, Julius Randle. Some signed on previous contracts, so the numbers look low, but you can get a pretty good player for $25 million. So I don't know. Maybe we scroll down a little bit more here to the $10 to $15 million range. Zubats, Reggie Bullock, DeAndre Jordan, not a great one. Bobby Portis, that's a good one. That seems to be more in the range to me, something like 10 to 12 million. And then, it's okay to bench him, right? You're if you're shooting 3 for 13, we'll sit you down. But a team should definitely take a chance on Dillon Brooks. He's played in playoff games. He is going to play defense. He's not scared to take a shot, even if sometimes you want him to be scared. But he'll probably be additive to whichever team he goes to next, I think.
Yeah, I'm not buying any of this Dillon Brooks is going to be playing in China next year. I don't buy that at all. He's better than a lot of players in the league. You can hate him all you want. He's got the most punchable face in the league. We've said that for about a decade now. But he's still good. You wish he sort of shut his mouth at times. Maybe he will, though. Maybe he's learned his lesson. He went from sort of being a great villain to suddenly a complete clown. He played himself, but maybe he's done with that. And if he is, I think he's still a good player. And I think a team would be wise, especially if you can get him for the cheap, to add him to a roster. And maybe, again, he rehabilitates his career a little bit here. I don't think he's going to be out of the league, because I'm seeing people say that. I mean, I'm hearing Shaq saying that, other players saying that, he might be done. I get it that you wouldn't want a headache, but if he lets that go,
well, like he had been prior to the last 4 months. I mean, he was, as you said, a big part of their team.
He scored 18 points a game last season. He had a good year last year. He had a bad year this year. Yeah, very bad.
And that's part of, he probably, as he said, he I don't know if he's going to be willing to let go that he thinks he's got a bigger role in this league. When that's going to happen. If he could be a bit player on a good team. It obviously didn't work here. Could he go be a Kelly Oubre and score 20 a game and be on a terrible team? Yes, he could do that.
Hornets need defense.
Michael Jordan might like the moxie of this guy.
You better learn Carolina, buddy.
Grizzlies VP of basketball operations, Zach Kleiman, he told reporters on Sunday the franchise is going to be very aggressive in the offseason. Those were his words, very aggressive. They have a lot of draft capital to play with. I think they have 5 first-round picks and 3 pick swaps if they want to utilize in any prospective trade. So it sounds like they're like, we got to pretend this year never happened. It got away from us, even though we were the 2nd seed. And let's go. We still have, obviously, 3 really talented young guys in John Morant, Desmond Bane, and Jaren Jackson Jr.
I would love to hear the meeting that they had with the PR people saying, we got to get under any circumstances in this press release.
Or did Shams just put that? This is the part. I mean, it's not like he didn't quote it to Zach Kleiman or to anyone in the Grizzlies organization. I believe Shams was told from the Grizzlies organization.
From someone.
He ain't coming back here. First off, you heard how much money he wants. Also, we're tired of his bullshit. Also, we want to get him away from John Morant. That's another part of this equation that, who knows?
Yeah, it's a good point, but it feels like maybe it's coming from Shams and maybe because it's definitely real that it came from the mouth of the Grizzlies, unless it's a real Kendall Roy meeting with the PR person and saying, let's bury Logan. He's already dead. I mean, let's really just throw that in there.
You think it was cousin Greg that told Sean?
I'd like to see Dillon Brooks call their bluff. Say, I'll play for $1.
Do it. You can't stop
Not that bad
for you. Still got the jerseys.
I'll play for free.
Yeah, do it. Show up.
Do it, Brooks.
Technical every game. 6 men on the court. Yeah, we didn't ask him.
He's not ours.
He's not actually on our team.
All right, final piece of news here. Suns, Chris Paul, his status is in doubt for games 3 and 4, maybe even games 5, if necessary, against the Nuggets because of a left groin strain. He appeared to sustain that injury in the last game after battling to box out KCP there late in the 3rd quarter. Checked out, immediately went to the locker room. Suns have him listed as day-to-day, but, from Shams and Woj, we're hearing basically a week here to be reevaluated. So that means he's going to miss a couple games, and possibly as many as 3. It sounds like. Can they still pull this off?
I think they can. He was not playing well. I think that was clear. He was having a good 3rd quarter when he got injured. There is no doubt. But through the first 6 quarters, he wasn't himself. He had 11 points in the first game. He did have an 8-point 3rd quarter when he was hurt, but that's coming off a 0-point first half. So I of course, the moxie is nice to have out there, but the point guards right now on this team are Booker and Durant, especially because they create so much space. So those are the guys who are kind of running the offense, and Chris Paul was helping out. Campaign, unfortunately, they don't have a steady backup right now. Campaign is not the same guy who helped them get to the finals and started a couple games in the finals 2 years ago. He is banged up, although in game 2 he looked more like himself, which can be bad. 1 for 7.
He looked like himself from the Bulls run.
Yeah, he's shooting too much. But that's what I do think putting him into the starting lineup, which I assume they will, may just slow him down a bit. He won't shoot every time. Because he's playing with Durant.
Because he's going to get some minutes.
That's good.
The other guy
is good.
But can he play worse than Chris Paul? Like, I know Chris Paul came
was
through in the
still
Clippers
their best
series.
plus minus player in the playoffs. I know he was not lights out Chris Paul, but he's still a positive, especially when you think about their bench.
Against the Clippers, he was rocking.
Yeah.
Game 1, he looked a little slow. I don't know if he's willing to pull the shots that need to be pulled, and they need to shoot around him, shoot around Durant and Booker. Listen, I don't know if Campaign's going to be able to do it. They're in a bad spot. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt.
Oh yeah, especially because you're just asking really Devin Booker and to some extent Durant, but Booker because he's sort of the point guard, nominal point guard. Yeah, do more, man.
Exactly. It doesn't matter about Campaign. You just hope he doesn't kill you. What needs to happen is that Kevin Durant needs to stop being nice. He needs to fit out and not fit in. He's just chilling too much. He makes Booker better just by being out there, but Booker, as of yet, has not made KD better. KD should not be the number 2 guy on this team. Devin Booker is the number 1 guy because he has been there, and everything is built around him. The playbook is built around him, but you just got to let KD cook and try to get you 40 points, because that's how the Suns are going to win this game, is by slowing it down and by just trying to outshoot the Nuggets and not turning the ball over. So I think KD's got to keep his turnovers down. Booker's got to keep his turnovers down. That's a huge place where they're going to miss Chris Paul. He only had 1 turnover in these first 2 games. But those 2 guys just got to completely ball out to have any sort of chance in games 3 and 4. And they got to win both games 3 and 4, I kind of think.
Yeah. Trey Kirby calling for the 2012 Nike ad slogan.
That's
KD
right.
is not nice.
That's
Was
right.
that a thing back in the day?
That's right.
Don't fit out, fit in. It's also good stuff there. I think Campaign's going to have a good game at some point.
They could use
What
it.
a prediction.
They need anyone.
But I
hit shots. It could be Lee. It could be Payne. Will we
How
ever
about a
see
20-point
Warren?
game from Ayton?
Sure.
That'd be amazing.
yeah,
Well,
they need to have somebody help out those 2 guys. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Besides Jokic and Murray, Aaron Gordon has been the best third option, beating out Ayton or Chris Paul. Down the line, Michael Porter's been better than whoever it is, Ayton or Chris Paul, and then KCP has been better than Okogie. Bruce Brown has been the best bench player out of anybody, so they're getting a lot from those guys.
I wouldn't. Well, unless Ayton just goes to work on the boards and gets him all his points that way. Feels like sometimes Chris Paul's the only person that passes to DeAndre Ayton and can actually get him involved in action. So
That is also true.
now he's gone, so we'll see. It's a must-win game 3, no doubt. Whoever's playing for the Suns, they got to step up. When do they play? July, August?
Friday,
When's our
Friday,
game 3?
Friday, yeah.
Oh, okay, it's Friday. Okay, let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow. Twitter.
Yeah, tweet of the night. It's a bit of a weird one, I'm not going to lie. The NBA Twitter account shared a video of all the celebrities who were at the Garden last night for Game 2. Hashtag NBA Celebro. We had some pretty famous people. You got Mike Myers there, rubbing his hat.
That was a funny bit.
Wonder how he felt about the Leafs. Roger Federer, Chris Rock, a bunch of Knicks legends, as we talked about, Melo and Camby. And you saw at the beginning there of this clip, Jessica Alba. There she is, sitting courtside. And the tweet of the night goes to Kevin O'Connor, who replied to the NBA tweet, "I'm a lifelong Jessica Alba fan." And that made me laugh so much last night. I was giggling when I woke up this morning, still thinking about it. I just love the earnesty from Kevin O'Connor. Though, love the replies to Kevin O'Connor's tweet too. Kevin O'Smitten, Kevin O'Thirsty, Kevin O'Horndog. He's an Alba fan, and I can't blame you, man. But what a great, hilarious tweet. I'm a lifelong Jessica Alba fan.
Jessica
I don't know
Alba
why it kills me.
fan.
I love KOC, but that's tweet of the night.
What's your favorite thing Jessica Alba's ever been in?
When she's swimming that one
I like
time.
her.
I don't know. What is that?
Exactly. Exactly.
I like her mom brand. She makes mom stuff.
Her mom brand is incredible.
That's what she
Honest
does.
Company is so
She looks
good.
amazing still. I don't know how old she is. 42. Okay, she's my age. What is she in? Honestly, give me a movie.
It wasn't Sharknado.
Exactly.
Oh,
But it was,
Into the Blue. Into the Blue.
Sin City is my favorite Jessica Alba movie, I would have to say.
Oh, she's in Sin City. Yeah.
But this is good news for the New York Knickerbockers. Because Jessica Alba, the last time I remember seeing her sitting courtside,
Yeah, when was it?
We Believe Warriors. Cash Warren. They went to school with Baron Davis, if I'm not mistaken. Her
Oh, I remember
beau
that.
of at the time. I don't know if they're still together, but she was sitting courtside, and they beat the Mavericks. Good stuff for the Knicks.
Oh, We Believe Knicks. Did you ever watch the movie Honey?
Yes. I imagine that's when Kevin O'Connor became a Jessica Alba fan.
Kevin O'Honey.
Kevin O'Horny, you're right. On Maine? Come on, buddy.
Oh, what a great tweet. Oh, it made me smile so much last night. That's tweet of the night. That's hopefully another classic edition of the No Dunks podcast. You tell us, though. Let us know with your 5-star ratings and reviews. 5-star Friday is this Friday.
It is the first Friday of the month.
That's right, on
Wake
the Drop
up, wake
podcast.
up.
So if you haven't already, you got a couple days here to get your reviews in on Apple Podcasts. So do that, and maybe you'll get a shout out from Trey Kirby on Friday's pod. And if you are listening or really watching here on YouTube, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Until tomorrow, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, best character in Into the Blue, Scuba Bob.
The fish?
That's what his name was.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Scuba Bob.
Embrace the day, people.